Hello, this channel I will explain a country for you, so keep watching. France, officially the French Republic, is a transcontinental country, predominantly located in Western Europe and spanning overseas regions and territories in the Americas and the Atlantic, Pacific and Indian Oceans. Its metropolitan area extends from the Rhine to the Atlantic Ocean and from Mediterranean Sea to the English Channel and the North Sea. Overseas territories include French Guiana in South America, Saint Pierre and Miquelon in the North Atlantic, the French West Indies and many islands in Oceania and the Indian Ocean. Due to its several coastal territories, France has the largest exclusive economic zone in the world. France borders Belgium, Luxembourg, Germany, Switzerland, Monaco, Italy, Andorra, and Spain in continental Europe, as well as the Netherlands, Suriname, and Brazil in the Americas via its overseas territories in France, Guinea, and Saint Martin. Its 18 integral regions, 5 of which are overseas, span a combined area of 643,000 km² and close to 68 million people. France is a unitary semi-presidential republic with its capital in Paris, the country's largest city and the main cultural and commercial center. Other major urban areas include Marseille, Lyon, Toulouse, Lille, Bordeaux, and Nice. Inhabited since the Paleolithic era, the territory of metropolitan France was settled by Celtic tribes known as Gauls during the Iron Age. Rome annexed the area in 51 BC, leading to a distinct Gallo-Roman culture that laid the foundation of the French language. The Germanic Franks formed the Kingdom of Francia, which became the heartland of the Carolingian Empire. The Treaty of Verdun of 1843 partitioned the empire, with West Francia becoming the Kingdom of France in 987. In the High Middle Age, France was a powerful but highly decentralized feudal kingdom. Philip II successfully strengthened royal power and defeated his rivals to double the size of the crown lands. By the end of his reign, France had emerged as the most powerful state in Europe. From the medium 14th to the medium 15th century, France was plunged into a series of dynastic conflicts involving England, collectively known as the Hundred Years' War, and a distinct French identity emerged as a result. The French Renaissance saw art and culture flourish, conflict with the House of Habsburg, and the establishment of a global colonial empire, which by the 20th century will become the second largest in the world. The second half of the 16th century was dominated by religious civil wars between Catholics and Huguenots that severely weakened the country. France again emerged as Europe's dominant power in the 17th century under Louis XVI following the 30 Years' War. Inadequate economic policies, inequitable taxes, and frequent wars, notably a defeat in the 7 Years' War and costly involvement in the American War of the Independence, left the kingdom in precarious economic situation by the end of the 18th century. This is precipitated the French Revolution of 1789, which overthrew the ancient regime and produced the Declaration of the Right of Man, which expresses the nation's ideal to this day. France reached its political and military zenith in the early 19th century under Napoleon Bonaparte, subjugating much of continental Europe and establishing the First French Empire. The French Revolutionary and Napoleonic Wars shaped the course of European and world history. The collapse of the empire initiated a period of relative decline in which France endured a tumultuous succession of governments until the founding of the French Third Republic during the Franco-Prussian War in 1870. Subsequent decades saw a period of optimism, cultural and scientific flourishing, as well as economic prosperity known as the Belle Epoque. France was one of the major participants of World War I, from which it emerged victorious at great human and economic cost. It was among the allied powers of World War II, but was soon occupied by the Axis in 1940. Following liberation in 1944, Fourth Republic was established and later dissolved in the course of the Algerian War. The current Fifth Republic was formed in 1958 by Charles de Gaulle. Algeria and most French colonies became independent in the 1960s, with the majority retaining close economic and military ties with France. France retains its centuries-long status as a global center of arts, science, and philosophy. It holds the fifth largest number of UNESCO World Heritage Sites and is the world's leading tourist destination, receiving over 89 million foreign visitors in 2018. France is a developed country with the world's 7th largest economy by nominal GDP and 10th largest by PPP. In terms of aggregate household wealth, it ranks 4th in the world. France performs well in international rankings of education, healthcare, life expectancy, and human development. It remains a great power in global affairs, being one of the 5 permanent members of the United Nations Security Council and an official nuclear weapon state. France is a founding and leading member of the European Union and the Eurozone, as well as a key member of the Group of 7 North Atlantic Treaty Organization or NATO, Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, and La Francophonie. The oldest trace of human life in what is now France dates from approximately 1.8 million years ago. Over the ensuing millennia, humans were confronted by a harsh and variable climate marked by several glacial periods. Early hominids led a nomadic hunter-gatherer life. France has a large number of decorated caves from the Upper Paleolithic era, including one of the most famous and best preserved, Lascaux. At the end of the last glacial period, 10,000 BC, the climate became milder. From approximately 7,000 BC, this part of Western Europe entered the Neolithic era and its inhabitants became sedentary. After strong demographic and agricultural development between the 14th and the 3rd millennia, metallurgy appeared at the end of the 3rd millennium, initially working gold, copper and bronze, as well as later iron. France has numerous megalithic sites from the Neolithic period, including the exceptionally dense Karnak stone site, and then this is approximately 3,300 BC. Vercingetorix surrenders to Caesar during the Battle of Alesia. The Gallic defeat in the Gallic Wars secured the Roman conquest of the country. In 900 BC, Ionian Greeks from Phocea founded the colony of Massalia on the shores of the Mediterranean Sea. This makes it France's oldest city. At the same time, some Gallic Celtic tribes penetrated parts of eastern and northern France, gradually spreading throughout the rest of the country between the 5th and the 3rd century BC. The concept of Gaul emerged during this period, corresponding the territories of Celtic settlement ranging between the Rhine, the Atlantic Ocean, the Pyrenees, and the Mediterranean. The borders of modern France roughly correspond to ancient Gaul, which was inhabited by Celtic Gauls. Gaul was then a prosperous country, of which the southernmost part was heavily subject to Greek and Roman culture and economic influences. Masonry, temple in Nemesis, Corinthian, columns and portico. The Masonry was a temple of the Gallo-Roman city of Nemesis, present-day Nice, and is one of the best preserved vestiges of the Roman Empire. Around 390 BC, the Gallic chieftain Brennus and his troops made their way to Italy through the Alps, defeated the Romans in the Battle of the Allia, and besieged and ransomed Rome. The Gallic invasion left Rome weakened, and the Gauls continued to harass the region until 345 BC, when they entered into a formal peace treaty with Rome. But the Romans and the Gauls would remain adversaries for the next centuries, and the Gauls would continue to be treated in Italia. Around 125 BC, the south of Gaul was conquered by the Romans, who called this region Provincia Nostra, our province, the main, which over time evolved into the name Provence in France. Julius Caesar conquered the remainder of Gaul and overcame a revolt carried out by the Gallic chieftain Vercingetorix in 52 BC. Gaul was divided by Augustus into Roman provinces. Many cities were founded during the Gallo-Roman period, including Lugdunum, present-day Lyon, which is considered the capital. Lyon, which is considered the capital of the Gauls. The cities were built in traditional Roman style, with a forum, a theater, a circus, an amphitheater, and thermal baths. The Gauls mixed with Roman settlers and eventually adopted Roman culture and Roman speech, Latin, from which the French language evolved. The Roman polytheism merged with the Gallic paganism into the same syncretism. From the 250s, the 280s AD, Roman Gaul suffered a serious crisis, with its fortified borders being attacked on several occasions by barbarians. Nevertheless, the situation improved in the first half of the 4th century, which was a period of revival and prosperity for Roman Gaul. In 312, Emperor Constantine converted to Christianity. Subsequently, Christians who had been persecuted until then increased rapidly across the entire Roman Empire. But from the beginning of the 5th century, the barbarian invasion resumed. Teutonic tribes invaded the region from present-day Germany, the Visigoths settling in the southwest, the Burgundians along the Rhine River Valley, and the Franks, from whom the French take their name, in the north. Economy. France has a developed income mix economy, characterized by sizable government involvement, economic diversity, a skilled labor force, and high innovation. For roughly 2 centuries, the French economy has constantly ranked among the 10 largest globally. It is currently the world's 9th largest by purchasing power parity. the seventh largest by nominal GDP and the second largest in the European Union by both metrics. France is considered an economic power, with membership in the group of 7 leading industrialist center countries, the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, and the group of 20 largest economies. And France's economy is highly diversified. Services represent 2/3 of both the workforce and GDP, while the industrial sector accounts for a fifth of GDP and a similar proportion of employment. France is the third biggest manufacturing country in Europe, behind Germany and Italy, and ranks 8th in the world by share of global manufacturing output at 1.9%. Less than 2% of GDP is generated by the primary sector, namely agriculture. However, France's agriculture sector is among the largest in value and leads the EU in the term of overall production. In 2018, France was the 5th largest trading nation in the world and the 2nd largest in Europe, with the value of export representing over a fifth of GDP. Its membership in the Eurozone and the broader European single market facilitate access to capital, goods, services, and skilled labor. Despite protectionist policies over certain industries, particularly in agriculture, France has generally played a leading role in fostering free trade and commercial integration in Europe in order to enhance its economy. In 2019, it ranked first in Europe and 13th in the world in the foreign direct investment, with European countries and the United States being leading sources. According to the Bank of France, the leading recipients of FDI were manufacturing, real estate, finance, and insurance. The Paris region has the highest concentration of multinational firms in Europe. Under the doctrine of dégisme, the government historically played a major role in the economy. Policies such as indicative planning and nationalization are credited for contributing to 3 decades of unprecedented post-war economic growth known as 20 Gloriouses. At its peak in 1982, the public sector accounted for 1/5 of industrial employment and over 4/5 on the credit market. Beginning in the late 20th century, France loosened regulations and state involvement in the economy, with most leading companies now being privately owned. State ownership now dominates only transportation, defense, and broadcasting. Policies aimed at promoting economic dynamism and prevention have improved France's economic standing globally. It is among the world's 10 most innovative countries in the 2020 Bloomberg's Innovation Index, and the 5th most competitive according to the 2019 Global Competitiveness Reports. According to the IMF, France ranked 30th in GDP per capita, with roughly $45,000 per inhabitant, in place 23rd in the Human Development Index, indicating very high human development. Public corruption is among the lowest in the world, with France constantly ranking among the 30 least corrupt countries since the Corruption Perception Index began in 2012. It placed 22nd in 2021, up 1 place from the previous year. Wow, that's great. France is Europe's second largest spender in research and development at over 2% of GDP. Globally, it ranks 12th. Financial services, banking and insurance are important part of the economy. AXA is the world's second largest insurance company by total non-banking assets in 2020. As of 2011, the three largest financial institutions cooperatively owned by their customers were France. Wow. Credit Agricole Group's case the Epernay and Group case the Epernay, according to a 2020 report by S&P Global Market Intelligence. France's leading banks, BNP Paribas and Credit Agricole, are among the top 10 largest banks by assets, with Societe Generale and Group BVCA ranking 17th and 19th globally, respectively. The Paris Stock Exchange, France, La Bourse de Paris, is one of the oldest in the world. Created by Louis XP in 1724, in 2000 it merged with counterparts in Amsterdam and Brussels to form Euronext, which in 2007 merged with the New York Stock Exchange to form NYSE. Euronext, the world's largest stock exchange, while Euronext Paris, the French branch of NYSE. Euronext is Europe's second largest stock exchange market behind the London Stock Exchange. That's it. Thank you for watching. Bye.